By popular demand, it was requested of me to make, once again, a World of Warcraft guide because you people are never satiated. So without further ado, if I may, Warlords of Draenor? More like Warlords of Draenor.
You fucking know why you're here.
Before we begin, I would like to preface this with a few things. Firstly, because these are just achievements, any character of any class can do these. However, if you would like to solo them and have them all completed on one character, I'd recommend doing this on a class that A, has a healer spec, and B, has a knockback ability of some sort. That would include Druid, Monk, maybe Priest, Shaman, and Evoker, kind of. They can only do the latter. That, or you could bring a friend who fits preferably both of those criteria. Secondly, some of these achievements have criteria such as don't get hit by X mechanic, don't let the boss cast X mechanic, or something similar. Because of this, you can very easily get these achievements just by killing the boss really quickly. So I've categorized all of these achievements into two categories. Category 1, you can just kill the boss, and Category 2, you actually have to do something slightly involved. Third, all of these achievements must be done on heroic difficulty, or so says their criteria. However, a few, keyword a few, can be done on mythic. So if you messed an achievement up, or you want to do them all in one day, that's perfectly fine. I will indicate vocally and on the screen if an achievement can be done on mythic. The first achievement, technically, is Draenor Dungeon Hero, which requires you to do all the dungeons on heroic difficulty. You're going to get this one done simply by completing each of these dungeons from start to finish. Let's begin with the Bloodmaw Slag Mines, which has 2 Category 2s and 1 Category 1. A Gift of Earth and Fire, a Category 2, requires you to defeat Magmolitus while Calamity and Ruination are still alive. You're going to start by not wearing any gear at all. If you are melee, you should use a thrown ability like Heroic Throw or Throw Glaive, because if you melee Forgemaster Gugda, you are going to kill him. He will spawn one of the elementals at the start of the fight and the other at 50%. Once both Calamity and Ruination are active, you can kill Forgemaster Gugda and Magmolitus once he becomes active. I'm not doing an Arnold impression. I'm not doing it. Come with me if you want to live. A Category 2 requires you to defeat Gugrock alongside Croman the Barbarian after finding his sword. You can do this achievement on Mythic. You're going to start by heading over to Slave Watcher Crushtoe on the right. Kill him, and then head over to the back right-hand corner over by the spinny thingy. Clicking on Croman will start the achievement. From here on out, I'm going to assume that anything he does is a reference to the movie, including this jump. He will then follow you around, and now all you have to do is the rest of the dungeon while making sure he doesn't die. That will be very easy. He gets his sword from Magmolitus, says a line from the movie or whatever. I don't know. I've never consumed any Conan the Barbarian media, so don't come for me. The only Arnold movie I know I've seen from start to finish is Junior, the Empreg one. But did you know that Conan the Barbarian's first appearance was in 1932? I bet you didn't know that. And if you did, you're a fucking nerd. You're literally just going to do the rest of the dungeon with an 80s, or rather 30s, nerd boy's wet dream. Okay, so when you start the Warlords of Draenor quest line and you're at the dark portal on the Tanan jungle side, and you see everybody's fighting, they're all battling and whatever, on the right you can find Croman. You can find him before he gets captured. His name is Arnold Croman, and he's a paladin, and he's fighting people, because Warlords of Draenor have a shit ton of people, because everybody thought that Warlords of Draenor was going to be such a cool expansion, such a throwback. Yeah, it's going to be so cool. And then And then it was the most boring expansion they ever made. Whoops. Okay, that's it. Kill all the bosses with the guy. Great job, you did it. Have a garrison follower because, well, that's the real reason you're all here. Is Draenor on fire? A category 1. Just kill the boss. I don't need to fucking tell you the criteria, it's a category 1. Sailing on into our second dungeon, the Iron Docks, this metallic marina has 2 category 2s and 1 category 1. Militaristic Expansionist, a category 2, requires you to defeat Fleshrender Notgar while Siege Master Olugar, Pit Warden Gwarnock, and Champion Druna remain alive and in the fight. This can be done on Mythic. All you have to do is locate them, aggro them, and then just kill the boss. And his dog. Expert Timing, a category 2, requires you to slay 4 Ogron laborers that are not in combat using a single iron star. This achievement just requires patience. After killing the first boss, you'll come to a large area full of patrolling mobs and 3 giant iron stars. All you have to do is climb into one and wait for the 4 Ogron to line up. The 3rd Ogron that I marked never moves. Just time the launch well, and the achievement is yours. Take cover, a category 1. Just kill the boss. Let's move on to Auchindoun, which only has 1 achievement for some reason. And I don't have any witty, stupid... I don't have a joke for this one. They All Fall Down, a category 2, requires you to defeat Soulbinder Naomi after defeating 12 fallen Akonai protectors within 3 seconds. There will be approximately 5 minutes of waiting for this achievement. Every so often, Naomi will teleport to a group of dead bodies on the floor and cast Torn Spirits to make them fight for her. Depending on how many bodies you get will dictate how long this will take because it's randomized. You could get unlucky and get at least 1 group of 2, which means you'll have to wait longer if she decides to cast on them. Once at least 12 Akonai protectors have been spawned, wait for Naomi to cast Soul Vessel, because she remains stationary, to move and AoE the spirits down. Then you can kill her.
Skyreach.
The Funky Bird Dungeon, full of funky birds that should be playable, has 4 achievements, 2 category 2s and 2 category 1s. 2 of these achievements, Magnify Enhance and Monomania, are both obtained through the final boss, High Sage Vyrix. Ready for rating 4 is a category 1. However, you cannot kill Ranjit too quickly. The same goes for Vyrix with Monomania. I don't know why, but if you kill them too fast, you will not get the achievement.
Okay.
Thankfully, these 2 are the only achievements that are like that. All you need to do is wait a few seconds and then kill them. Magnify Enhance, a category 2, requires you to defeat the Empowered Construct. Below the right-hand side of Vyrix's platform, there is a teeny tiny little robot called the Uncharged Construct. What you're going to do is hit that teeny tiny little robot with a laser beam mechanic called Lens Flare. You do not need to wait for the zealots to grab you. You can just fall down there and the fight will remain active. I waited a really long time in my recording, but you don't have to wait at all. You can go down there as soon as the fight starts. Once the teeny tiny little uncharged robot is hit by Lens Flare, it will become a big, empowered robot, and then you can kill it and jump off the edge for Vyrix's 2nd achievement. I Saw Solis, a category 2, requires you to cause 3 piles of ash to form solar flares at the same time. This achievement can be done on Mythic. Before starting, make sure to unequip all of your gear so you don't accidentally kill Rukran while she's screeching. Hitting her is the only way to stop her from screeching and not doing any other mechanics. Again, if you're melee, use a thrown ability so you don't accidentally kill her. That goes for tank specs too. I would like to interject and say that if you're going to do this on a melee class that can't swap to a ranged DPS or healer, be wary that your character might immediately follow up your thrown ability with an auto attack and get Rukran killed, since you have to be standing in melee to make the screeching stop. My advice to you is to try and get the achievement done with the first solar flare that spawns. If you mess up, you can always just jump off and restart. There are piles of ash all over the platform. Periodically, Rukran will spawn small fiery birds called solar flares that will fixate on you. Killing a solar flare or making contact with one will make it explode, and if it explodes on top of an ash pile, another solar flare will spawn. Solar flares that die will turn into an ash pile. Your goal is to finesse the solar flares into a formation that lets the death of one solar flare spawn 3. Once you've spawned all 3, go ahead and kill the boss. Monomania, a Category 1 and an achievement I already talked about. Just don't kill her too fast. Chugga choo-chooing our way into Grimrail Depot, this dungeon has 2 Category 2s. This is why we can't have nice things. A Category 2 requires you to defeat Railmaster Rocket Spark and Borka the Brute after destroying all of the priceless paraphernalia. Around the first boss room, there are 4 boxes called Priceless Paraphernalia. Immediately upon entering the room, the first is straight ahead, the second is to the right, the third is diagonally to the left by the exit door, and the fourth is up on the platform to the far right. For this achievement, you wait for Borka to use his Mad Dash ability while you're standing in front of each of the boxes. That's it. You wait a little bit, break all 4, and then kill both of the bosses. No Ticket, a Category 2, requires you to defeat Nitrog Thunder Tower after abruptly removing 20 enemies from the Grimrail. You do not have to eject 20 adds at once, just in total. This is the achievement that you will need to bring a class with a knockback ability to. Start with no gear on, because in order to start the phase, the boss has to be dropped below a certain health percentage. You don't actually have to take off any of your gear. You can hit that man as hard as you want and wear your 447 decked out gear all you fucking want. Beat the shit out of him. I just really wanted to keep the awooga joke because boobs. Finding an NPC nameplate counter macro that works can be very helpful. I didn't find one that worked, but I also didn't really care. You can just eyeball it. Kill the Grenadiers because they will knock you backwards and can and will ruin your funky flow. I opted to just kill all Grenadiers as well as the Gunners and the Boomers because the Gunners stand still, and I don't know what the Boomers do. All you have to do for this achievement is get real close to the edge of the trade platform and use a knockback ability. Once you think you've pushed off at least 20 adds, go ahead and kill the boss. The most important part is that you have to kill the boss. I literally did this achievement 3 times before I read it again and realized you have to kill the boss to get the achievement. So I was running around, getting nearly every single ad knocked off the train 3 times in a row before I realized I was missing the most important part. Don't be like me. Are you ready to get wet and wild in the Everbloom dungeon? Well, just like the wet and the wilds, there's one of each category. 1 and 2. Water Management, which is deceptively a Category 2, requires you to defeat Witherbark without allowing him to replenish any of his aqueous energy. After starting the fight, don't hit the boss and wait for his energy to deplete completely. Once it does, he will become brittle and will stand still. Just kill him. You don't have to kill any of the aqueous globules. You just have to wait for the phase to start. Guess what? I did this achievement multiple times too because fuck me, I guess. Fuck me, I guess. There's an easier way to do any and all of it because, of course. Weed Whacker, Category 1. Kill that dinosaur bitch. That's it. Weed whacker. Weed eater. Our penultimate dungeon is an ooky, spooky, defiled gravesite with 1 Category 1 and 2 Category 2s. What's your sign? A Category 1. Kill her. Which is kind of an intense response to someone who believes in astrology. Well, I think astrology should only be done for fun and not taken seriously. Killing people over it is excessive, even if they are annoying about it. Oh, what's my sign? I'm a slut sun, whore moon, and bitch rising. Icky Ichors, a Category 2, requires you to defeat Bonemaw after having fed him 25 corpse skitterlings. After you kill the second boss, and you start to run down the hallway, you'll find some corpse skitterlings. You'll want to keep every single one of them alive. There is another pack of them immediately around the corner, and a third down in the cave. Don't kill the big spiders either, just run straight to the boss. The big spiders don't do anything for the achievement, but you're better off leaving them alone than risking an AoE proc or something. Once you get to Bonemaw, start the fight and wait for him to cast Inhale. He will then inhale all of the poor, teeny tiny little spiders. If you get inhaled, you'll be okay. The fight doesn't reset. After the boss has had his yummy snack of baby spiders, you can go ahead and kill him. All those poor baby spiders. They've been babies since 2014. What a cruel fate. Souls of the Lost, a Category 2, requires you to defeat Ner'zhul after slaying 2 Ritual of Bones skeletons within 5 seconds of each other. Wait for Ritual of Bones, where Ner'zhul will spawn a bunch of skeleton guys in that purple fart wall. All you have to do is kill 1, then kill 2, and kill the boss. That's it. The final dungeon is Upper Blackrock Spire, which has 1 Category 1 and 3 Category 2s. Magnets, how do they work? A Category 1, kill him. Just fucking kill him. But in all honesty, does anybody actually unironically listen to Insane Clown Bossy? Leeroy? Category 2 requires you to assist Leeroy Jenkins in recovering his devout shoulders. I did this achievement 3 fucking times to figure out how to do it for you. Just for you. Okay? For this achievement, you have to be a class that has an out-of-combat resurrection spell. Soulstones do not work, battle reses do not work, and engineer reses do not work. The common denominator is that classes that are like this have a healer specialization, which is why I said that at the beginning of the video. Just like for the Terragosa questline, you don't have to be in the intended spec. So long as your class is eligible, you can do this in whatever spec you want. To resurrect Mr. Jenkins, you click on him. You just click on him. Except if you are an evoker. I am so sorry, but if you are like me and you like doing everything on your main first, and you decided to main an evoker until the end of time, you cannot do this by yourself. Clicking on Mr. Jenkinson's body will just make you cry like a class that cannot resurrect him. I don't know why it's like this or what code they'd have to dig through to fix it, but as of right now, writing this at 3:41 p.m. on Thursday, June 29th, 2023, when I really should be doing some chemistry homework, and after filming in very early April, evokers cannot do this achievement solo. I'm so sorry. The actual meat and potatoes of the achievement go as follows. After defeating the second boss, Skyreach, Mr. Jenkinson's body is immediately to the right of the back table. After an eligible class resurrects him, he will speak.
What?
Yes, this is fully voice acted by the original guy. And then set an honest-to-God 15-minute timer. Don't leave and clear the rest of the dungeon. You need to leave all of that alone. So go do something for 15 minutes, I guess. literally anything, because it's gonna be a while. Also, when I was doing this for the third time, the Lanticore, this charming individual, was up. So if you want to know where to get the pet, there it is. After waiting the full 15 minutes, he will start running and will scream his signature phrase. He also has unique combat noises, which are kind of loud, but I'm glad they let him voice so much. You're going to babysit him and kill the trash and boss he very willingly will run up to. Once you get to the room called the Furnace, which is the room right before the 4th boss, Ragewing, he will run over to the back right corner and up to a core hound named Son of the Beast. Let him aggro it, and give it a second or two before you kill it. Once it's dead, he will loot his cloth shoulders and go back to your garrison. That's right, baby! Not only are you getting a mount at the end of this, you're also getting 2 garrison followers and potentially a battle pet, which is not guaranteed. Bridge over Troubled Fire, a Category 2, requires you to kill 20 Ragewing whelps in 10 seconds while fighting Ragewing the Untamed. You do not need to free any of the caged whelps in the room before Ragewing. She doesn't die immediately, so you can go ahead and hit her. During the fight, Ragewing will fly off and a bunch of whelps will spawn and attack you. After about 16 seconds, she'll come back. Since you've already gotten her to 1 HP, she'll fly off again immediately and spawn a bunch more whelps. Once these 2 sets of whelps are thoroughly screaming in your ears, go ahead and AoE them down. Dragonmaw? More like Dragonfall. I'm sorry, whoever wrote this achievement title, I'm sorry, but it just does not roll off the tongue. A Category 2 requires you to defeat 5 Ember Scale Ironflights before defeating Warlord Zayla. Start with absolutely no gear on. Melee, you'll have to hit Zayla with 2 thrown abilities, at least I did on Demon Hunter, to get her past half health. Once past half health, she will run away and spawn some adds. Periodically, proto-drakes called Ember Scale Ironflights will appear on the edges of the platform. All you have to do is wait and kill 5 of them, and then kill the boss. Okay, good job! You did it. You did it. You defeated the evil. You vanquished the evil. You never have to come back to Warlords content ever again. Good job. Good job. Good job. You got 2 garrison followers and a stupid, stinky boar mount that you're never going to use. You're just going to keep it in your mount counter journal, and you're never going to look at it ever again. You're going to search up pig mounts, and you're going to be like, oh, hey, I have this mount, and then you're not going to use it because, yeah. Because this map is stupid. That's it. Okay. Thank you for watching my stupid video. I'm gonna blow up and die. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I perhaps will show you the inner workings of my mind. And by the inner workings of my mind, I mean how it feels to have to do voiceover in a completely different location and a completely different location. I went from my desk to my closet, and yeah, there's gonna be a silly little video accompanying this. You can watch it if you like. You can subscribe if you like. But I have to make stupid, silly, bullshit, nonsense videos, or else I'm going to die. I'm not kidding. I'm being serious. That's it. Goodbye. Goodbye, little gay people on my computer. I love you. Mwah, 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 mwah.